Hi everyone and welcome. This is the Apostate Prophet. I hope you're having a fantastic day. People have repeatedly asked me a certain question. If not Islam, then what? Some people are genuinely curious. They ask me for advice. And some are outright critical and say, you criticize Islam, you say it's bad, okay, but you don't have anything else to offer. And when people come with this confrontation or with this advice, this question, I generally don't know what to say. I mean, what do you expect from me? I'm not in a position to give you advice on what to follow. I'm just a dumb human, just like you. I would love to get my own life completely together and live a perfect life, and then tell you what exactly to do. I also don't exactly follow and agree with the logic here. Just because I'm criticizing Islam, that doesn't mean I have to present an alternative to Islam. I am merely a critic in regards to Islam. Anything else is simply my opinion and my choice. But fine, since people keep asking me this question, I thought to myself, maybe I should think about this. Before we start, I want to thank my sponsors. The problem is I don't have any sponsors, except you. Most of my videos are not monetized, so you can watch them without ads. If you like what I'm doing and if you want to support my work, you can support me on Patreon or on apostateprophet.com. I appreciate your support so much. My suggestions would be the following. Number one, you can be a freethinker. That sounds very vague, but that's how I define myself. I'm a freethinker. I don't belong to any tribe. I don't belong to any club. I don't follow any group, any belief, any idea. I don't have any identity. I am simply myself. I judge independently whether something is right or wrong. And I don't restrict my mind to any assumptions, to any presuppositions, to any doctrines. I give everything a chance, reevaluate my own ideas, my own thoughts every now and then. On my own path, as a freethinker, I describe myself nowadays more as a post-theist than an atheist, where I have a peaceful relationship with religious beliefs, and I consider the dichotomy, the divide between atheism and theism to be something that belongs to the past. If I called myself an atheist, I would only be calling myself an atheist because theism exists and I am somehow responding to that. But that's not what my existence, what my identity, what my beliefs should be about. My perspective is post-theism. Religion has a function. It is an essential part of human history and human development. It was inevitable, and now it is time for me to move on. It's really nice to explore the world this way, but it also gets very challenging. So for those who don't want to immerse themselves into the stress and the depression of finding the truth, I could suggest, why don't you just become apathetic about religion and God? You don't have to necessarily seek for something. You can just live your life. If you can do that. I personally can't do that. It doesn't really work for me. But for other people, that's a very good solution, and there is nothing wrong with it. You can be apathetic about God. I think there is even a term, apatheism, or something like that. You can live a life where you pursue happiness, human benefit, flourishing, utility, or pleasure. You can embrace absurdism, a form of theological absurdism where you acknowledge that there is no creation, there is no God, there is no religion, there is no proper meaning behind anything, but that's okay. Let's just embrace the absurdity and live life. There's nothing wrong with that, seriously. I personally can't do that, but I envy people who can do that. Another alternative that I personally quite like is Buddhism. I have been reading about and listening to a lot of Buddhist stuff recently, including reading fundamental Buddhist scriptures, reading old Buddhist philosophers, listening to the Dalai Lama, understanding Buddhism, secular Buddhism, and its relationship to psychology and neuroscience. I actually got into that because I had to learn about psychology and neuroscience, and then I discovered that there is some newly established relationship going on between psychology and Buddhism and neuroscience and Buddhism. Buddhist practices, Buddhist traditions have certain things in common with modern psychology and neuroscience. You can be a Buddhist and be completely non-theistic, not believe in deities, not believe in magical beings, but simply find peace in acknowledging that nothing is permanent, that you don't have to try so hard, that you can forgive yourself and be at peace, be mindful, and you can find great pleasure in dedicating yourself to decreasing suffering, including the suffering of others, which is highly valued in Buddhism. One thing that I found so interesting about Buddhism is that it doesn't concern itself very much with explaining the origins of things, creation and afterlife and all that. It concerns itself more with what is and how to deal with what is, instead of trying to chase things that nobody understands. My fourth suggestion is Christianity. What I like about this video already is that most people will disagree with this, with some parts of this video, and most people will also agree with other parts of this video. I love it. I personally have some sympathy with Christianity. I like Christianity. I've always liked Christianity. I've always liked the feeling, the sense of community, the morals, the concept of love and forgiveness within Christianity. Now, I do find it inconsistent, and I do think that the whole idea of God and creation and afterlife is not very logical and not very much consistent with a compassionate God and with love and forgiveness. But just because it's illogical, that still doesn't erase all the nice things that are in existence within Christianity. Sometimes I really just want to go to a church just for the community, but then I don't think I could actually, knowing that I don't believe in it, go there and then have my mind limited and restricted. I don't believe Christianity to be true. I don't think it is very logical. I don't think it is theologically great. But for those who need it, it's a choice. I don't even care if people believe in Islam. As long as you believe in something and it makes you happy and you don't harm others, what is it to me? And as long as you don't advocate for genocides and all that. Another option is nature religions or even pantheism. Throughout the years, when I lost my faith, but I was also trying to understand meaning further and trying to reconnect to something that was within religion, before I understood human psychology better, to be very honest, I was kind of into this idea that we are merely the universe exploring itself or developing, the universe understanding itself, and that the universe is everything, that the universe is a force. I was joking about creating my own belief called universalism or something like that. Nowadays there are certain movements, certain religions that were revived, like Wiccan religion or other nature religions that are not harmful, that are often even religions by name, but quite secular and very much just about philosophy and justice. I personally think that many things that are part of these movements, such as, I don't know, magical stones and healing through energy and all that stuff, is complete bullshit. I'm sorry. But there you have it. If you ask me, that's what you get. Finally, many people who don't believe in a religion and God anymore, and who don't want to be atheists anymore, find themselves identifying as agnostics. I myself don't find agnosticism fulfilling and satisfying because I think it is a position of uncertainty. I know deep agnostics who are against the simplification of agnosticism want to argue that agnosticism is actually very deep and it merely rejects the idea that you can say something positive or negative about God. I understand all that, but I just think in the end it all leads to the same thing, to an uncertainty about something that you either believe or don't believe in. Agnosticism is kind of a limbo where you don't want to stand. But that's a long topic for another day. I certainly reject Islam as absolutely false. I also reject many of these other beliefs that make claims, extraordinary claims, as absolutely false. But some beliefs, some ideologies are better than others, far more harmless than others. And in the end, it is really, as said, completely up to you what you do. And you know what? If you want to be a Muslim, you can even be a Muslim. You just know where I stand on that. And I think you would be terribly mistaken. And you would be treating yourself very poorly. And others too, which I just can't respect. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for listening. I will be back very soon. Have a fantastic day and stay away from Islam.